Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So as you can see, I've got some cards out here. I was burning some sage and lo and behold, the alarm went off and it just kept going off. I had it shut off and then it started again and shut off and started again. So there's an emergency happening, and apparently it's around the purification that you have going on. You've got some purification going on, whether it be in your home, in your life, or in the work that you're doing elsewhere. And people are getting all fired up about it. The time is 5 minutes after 5. So that is 55, which is conflict also. So there is the premise of the read. In the central energy, we have the Six of Wands here. So you're getting public recognition. You're getting a victory here. You're victorious over something. You're coming into your rewards. You may have gotten a promotion. In the challenge position, we have the Ten of Wands, and it is a completion of this heavy burden for you. In the subconscious, we've got the Lovers here. The strength of two together. You're very powerful together. And it's a deep love. A deep, beautiful, passionate love. In the recent past, you've got the Chariot here. So there is another victory and forward momentum. You're moving forward into whatever it is you're doing. And you're doing so with the Knight of Pentacles energy. You're making good investments. You're working very hard. And you're doing so routinely. In the near future, we've got the Queen of Wands, very courageous and confident and determined, passionate woman. Please do what you need to do with the genders, okay? She's determined to live in joy. She's got a zest for life, and she's like, I'm focusing on my life. I'm going to live it. In the lens it's being looked through, we do have a moving forward, again, to kind of matchy-matchy with the Chariot. So you're moving forward. You're expanding, and this is also enterprise. So the the nefarious little interferers of my peaceful states throughout the night have said that soon you shall be enterprised, and that means that you are expanding out. People are coming into a similar mindset, similar ideas and goals. In the environment, we have the King of Cups in the reverse. So somebody is giving bad advice. They're very cold, emotional manipulator. They're secretly ashamed, and they're acting volatile. There's no love in them. They could be very angry, stuck on the inside with their feelings. Hopes and fears, we have conflict here. So yeah, they're really angry. They don't have any love in them, and they want to fight with you. They want to bring strife to your life. In the outgoing energy, we do have the Seven of Cups here. So there is an illusion, wishful thinking. They want your purpose, okay? On the bottom of the deck, we've got disconnect and judgment. So they're being disconnected and they are under judgment here for moving against you. We've got the Seven of Wands competition. So you are protected, you're persevering, holding your own and standing up for yourself, maintaining control, and justice is being delivered. The law of cause and effect. What doesn't stick to you goes back on them, and then they're stuck. And they are in a nightmare. They're in a nightmare because you are the temperance angel. You are balanced, you're harmonized, and you are transmuting whatever negativity they send you, which is causing them a tower. So because you're at peace and they can't affect your mind or your energy or your life, they can't drop you into South Node, they're falling apart here. And you are coming in, you're very generous, you're sharing the wealth with your community, and somebody's disappointed in having to walk away. Okay, you're leaving them behind. You're leaving them behind, and you're going into a happy surprise, new love, and the reward for the fruits of your labor here. Okay, beautiful, beautiful, abundant life, and you've got this freedom and marriage. All is well with the Sun. Again, you're working with high standards. steadily, routinely building your capacity for mastery over whatever skill it is that you've got going on. And we have the King of Pentacles. So we've got authority, abundance, this leadership, right? Disciplined. And the Hierophant is here. So there's a higher level, traditional value order of things in this new beginning. Potential, passionate beginning. Okay. Oh, and the wheel turns. And the wheel turns. The cycle ends. And another one begins. Collective energy, please, Spirit. Collective energy. What storyline would you like to share with the collective? What do we got going on, Spirit? This is wonderful. You're doing great. So you're obviously a part of a power couple that is victorious over whatever endeavor you got going on. Victory, public recognition. Everybody can see it. Everybody knows. It's not hidden. You're getting a promotion. You're coming into some good fortune. An important milestone has been reached. And so yeah, you've reached your goals. People are mad at you, but you have nothing to feel guilty about, okay? Just accept it. You worked hard for this. Worked real hard. Conquest, just another notch in the headboard. You've got victory over these just another notch in the headboards, or you could have beat somebody of that nature, that lower vibrational nature. Conquest. This is the end of your heavy burden. You've been working real hard. You've been overloaded for a long time. Whoa. And we got somebody is stuck in a rabbit hole. They got crazy drama and they're grieving about it. And it could be that this is the completion of this rabbit hole escapade, this chaos, and it could be a completion of your grieving. You're victorious over it. It could be that whoever this notch in the headboard is grieving because it didn't work out the way that they had planned. Maybe they're stuck in some crazy drama because you're a power couple here. Deep, deep love. You've been under a heavy burden with this crazy drama for a long time. Yeah. So you've got, your values are in alignment. You've got the strength of two together here, but then we've got adrift. So the strength of two together here is setting adrift those who were not willing to settle down or be responsible. Your power couple, you believe in what? Faithfulness, fidelity, the union itself, honoring the union, and family, traditional family stuff. So you're there. Looks like you're moving there in a powerful way against those who are not willing to settle down. Those other notches in the headboard. You're in your chariot and you're leaving. You're on your way. Yeah, it's been a rough road for you. It's been real rocky, but you've got a victory over it and you're leaving that behind. You've got the Knight of Pentacles here. You've been working real hard on a routine basis and very responsibly. You've made a good investment with your time, with your effort, with your loyalty to the task, to the mission, to each other. And nothing is in ruins. So you've been working real hard and they can't ruin you. Somebody wasn't able to ruin you. It was a very, very hard road to go. But you've got this powerful determination to live your life. You're going to live it. And you're focused. on joy. You're very confident. Needs. Your emotional needs weren't met. It's time to reassess. Touch is important too. So yeah, you could have been doing this all on your own. You may be alone, but you're really determined to go through this. You're moving forward. There could be an enterprise, some kind of an expansion. Crumbling. Whatever was built in the previous cycle is crumbling because you're having an enterprise here. Everybody's coming on board with the same page, the same mindset, the same plans and ideas. So there's unification. And we've got this King of Cups in the reverse. They're volatile. They're angry. They don't have any love in them. Maybe they took some bad advice or given bad advice. They're trying to emotionally manipulate somebody. They're tangled up and unable to free themselves. Oh yeah, they're mad. They're real mad. They got themselves tangled up in this mess and they have no love to get them out. There's no love to get them out. That's kind of sucky. Of this conflict. They could be in fear of this conflict. Struggle. They're not being supported in this conflict. And we've got the Seven of Cups, illusion, wishful thinking. And tired in the reverse. You've got a lot of opportunities here. You're ready to go. You're not tired. You've got energy. You're in this Queen of Wands energy. You're very, very passionate, very, very fired up. Somebody wants to escape. They couldn't take you out. They couldn't exhaust you. They weren't able to exhaust you. You just kept freaking going. So we got a childish person or people looking for an escape. They're guilty of using love as an escape. They want forgiveness for secretly neglecting you. They didn't pay any attention to love. They're having anxiety because they broke all the promises that they made. They broke hearts. Your heart, other hearts, tempted by the snake, they lost. Okay? And their cup is empty. Their cup is empty. And things are real difficult now because they're having to deal with a whole lot of flames that they betrayed there. So they're upset. They want to be lifted out of their demise. They want to be lifted out of this trap. But you're victorious over this. And it's like the more you shine, people in this space, they're getting nauseous. They can't handle your energy. And so they're dropping out. It literally makes them sick. And I didn't realize this, but my mother was full-blown narcissist. And it was really a challenge loving that woman. But the thing is that shortly before she passed, she came to see me. And I didn't even know she was sick. And I was excited to see her because I hadn't seen her in like 6-7 years. And so we went out for lunch and I was like, blah, 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 talking, so happy to see her, so full of this bubbly joy. And she told me that it hurt her to listen to me, to be in my presence. She literally said that. It hurt her to be around me. I had no idea that my presence had that effect on people until she actually said that. It really made a lot of things click for me. Anyhow, that's what's going on. And you're so full of this passionate, vital force that they could not tire you out with all these illusions. So you've got a victory here. You're receiving some recognition. You could be receiving recognition by others who saw you as a notch in the headboard, or you've gained a victory over these ones who had that kind of, they had that kind of attitude. They don't like your attitude, but this is the energy they're in. See, this is you, And they don't like your attitude, but this is them, and they're the ones with the bad freaking attitude. Yeah, you've been promoted. You had a victory over those ones. Look, reflections. Those who were trying to reflect you. Those copycats that were trying to mimic you, trying to take your place, you've got a victory here. This is the completion of your heavy burden, and they're grieving because it didn't work out the way that they had imagined, and they're stuck in this crazy drama. There's no peace for them. And they've got secrets. They're still keeping secrets. They're challenged by these secrets. You've got the strength of two to get together. The lovers are here. And they're the strength of two together are standing in union with alignment of values. They're very passionate and strong, very strong. They could be setting something adrift. They could be, doing something with this low vibrational reflection, this person that was trying to mirror you. Yeah, neglect. They failed to give you what you needed. Abusive, intimate unions. Abusive friendships. Daydreaming about being with you. Or it could be that that this is a spiritual union and a soul contract, and perhaps you are longing for each other in the physical. You're sitting there working together against this, so you're setting adrift those that were not willing to settle down or be responsible, and you're daydreaming of each other. You've got a soul contract here. It's beautiful. I am always longing for you. The Chariot here, victory. You could be going on a journey. It's been a very rough road. It's been a real rocky time. Somebody made some mistakes. They wish that they could right their wrongs. You've got a victory and you're moving away from that. Your hard work and your responsible good investment kept you from falling into ruin. Somebody is broken and shattered about this. They couldn't ruin you. They couldn't destroy you. They couldn't destroy you. You're in this Queen of Wands energy. You've got a zest for life. You are going to live it, and you're going to live it with all your freaking might, even though your needs aren't necessarily being met. Touch is important. So it could be that you just are in this spiritual union, and you're thinking about it. Yeah, neglected. So your needs were neglected, or maybe they are. This is the near future. Your needs were neglected, or maybe they are being neglected. Touch is important. But you've got a zest for life, and you're very, very determined to move forward with this enterprise. Whatever was built is falling apart. The old scenario is crumbling. It's falling apart. We've got reminiscing. Somebody's reminiscing about the inside jokes. I guess it's not very funny now. Everything's falling apart. King of Cups in the reverse. He's emotionally manipulative, and he can't get himself free from a sticky situation. They're tangled up, and they're looking for an escape. They're looking for an escape. There is this rivalry here, and they're struggling. They're feeling like they're not being supported. And they're in regret. They wish that this had never happened. We've got the Seven of Cups here. So there is illusion, wishful thinking. They might wish that they weren't so tired. They might be daydreaming, wishing that they weren't tired. Searching for purpose. They need some energy. They need energy. They're prideful. They need energy. Shadow side. Shadow side, realizing their flaws. Lots of opportunities. You're not tired. Shadow side, realizing their flaws. This soul tie. They're soul tied. They got soul ties. They signed up for soul ties. With the shadow in order to get money. They have a soul tie with the shadow to get money. They weren't able to tire you out. They're wishing that they weren't so tired. They're wishing they weren't so tired. They're in the shadows. They got a soul tie with the shadow side because they wanted money. And they're getting reciprocity. They're getting what they gave. Equal give and take. They missed their opportunity. They didn't take action when they should have. And they don't want to chase you or your commitment anymore. You're powerful here. Look, they do. This third party does want to have a conversation with you, though. Because they're in disagreement about their habitual patterns. You know, they think you should understand how they feel because they've been found unworthy. There's unfinished business. There's still some things to resolve. And they want to fix the connection. But they weren't happy with the way things were going. They want to fix it. But they sabotage themselves. They sabotage themselves, and because they could not separate you from love, and now they're feeling your absence because you're not with them, and they're running away because they've been found guilty of some stuff. There's an understanding of the damage that they have caused, and they don't know what to do because they didn't care about you. That's the truth. They didn't care about you. So they're being detached and held back from this destiny where you're free to just get right out there and experience life. And passion. And the prideful people want forgiveness, or a person, whatever that is. And people are talking about this new chapter and your reunion here. And it's too late for anybody to take any action against it. And they're overwhelmed because they were lying. Oh, this is an unexpected outcome. Damn. And they can't get in your space. They cannot get in your space. The way you love is irreplaceable. And they are confused. They feel they're uncertain where we stand, and right, there's confusion regarding responsibilities and the family. So it's like, well, they don't stand anywhere with that. They were never part of a responsible family, and their goal in life was to destroy it, you know, and they were doing so very, very happily. So you've got a victory here with the Six of Wands. An achievement, a promotion. You've got public recognition. You've conquered. You've conquered your reflection. You have conquered your reflection. The person or people that were mimicking you or mirroring you. Yeah, you've got a victory over them. You've conquered them. And I heard the meanie ones, you know, the meanie boys, you know, that really despise, you know, everybody. They what did they say? They said that reflecting you is over. Like, there's no more mirroring of you. They're not able to do that anymore. So they're trying to do something else, but it looks like you've got a victory here. They don't know what to do. You have conquered your reflection, your doppelganger, your foe, this mimicker, somebody who is mimicking you, mocking you. trust. Because you trusted your intuition, you trusted your connection with the divine, the Most High, and you followed that advice. So you've got you've conquered your mirror, or the ones that were mirroring you, because you trust the divine and you were led by the divine. This is a completion of your heavy burden. These ones are grieving because it didn't work out the way they had planned. They're stuck in a rabbit hole. They're in some crazy drama, and they've got a lot of secrets there. They haven't told everything, but everything is probably known anyway. Look, they're in denial. They're denying their secrets. The lovers are here, the power couple, and they are setting adrift those who were not willing to settle down. It's like you're cleaning house. It's like you're part of the foundational, part of the new foundational keeper system. Somebody's daydreaming about this soul contract. Oh yeah, two lovers want to come together. But you got some folks out here, they're still, oh man, they're mad. They're real mad. And they're still talking like, they're real mad, and they're still talking like they've got any kind of hope whatsoever of claiming you, sexually molesting you, and, or gathering your adrenals or whatever. It's just a one-track mind, and this is what it is. I really do feel that this is kind of like the lower vibrational Draco entities that like the fear energy. They've got some really bad fear energy. Anyway, it looks like these lovers are setting to drift those who were not willing to settle down and be responsible. It's time to commit and put down roots. You're daydreaming about each other and your soul contract. Look, you're surrendering to it. Somebody is releasing the need to control it. So it's, and like I said here, you're letting the divine guide you. You trust this. You trust the process. In the recent past, you got your Chariot here. There is a victory. You're on forward momentum. The road has been very, very rough. Somebody made some mistakes. They wish that they could right their wrongs. You've got a victory over them. They could not bring you ruin because you worked real hard. Or maybe they made some mistakes working routinely, trying to bring you ruin, and they failed. Look. Loneliness. You're not alone. You're not alone here. And you're not lonely. You're not alone, and you're not lonely. You've been working real hard to keep yourself from falling into ruin, into South Node. And somebody is, or maybe you are working real hard to keep yourself from breaking emotionally, but somebody is, look, somebody's broken and shattered because they could not break you. They just couldn't break you. They're not having a good time about it. Queen of Wands is very, very passionate about her life. And she's not dealing with envious people anymore who neglected her, or maybe she's neglecting these people. She's not dealing with these envious people who neglected her. Their needs aren't going to be met. It's their turn, I guess. They failed to give you what you needed. You're not envious. Maybe you were neglected, or maybe you have been neglected. You're not envious. You've got a passionate for like, oh, somebody's under judgment. These ones are under judgment for trying to hurt you. There's an enterprise. So this is a global thing. Look, they want forgiveness. This is a global thing. What was across the globe, everything that had been happening to the different communities around the globe. So You know, they're falling apart. It's enterprise. You're moving forward in an enterprise, crumbling the old foundation. And somebody was joking around, reminiscing about how fun it was, and now they're seeking forgiveness. King of Cups. An emotional manipulator is secretly ashamed, and they're volatile. They're tangled up. They can't free themselves from a sticky situation. They're looking for an escape. They don't have any gratitude. They're not thankful. They're not thankful for anything. They're afraid of this rivalry, this conflict. They're not being supported in it anymore. They wish that they had never happened. They're in regret. They're afraid. They're in fear. We've got the Seven of Cups here. So there's a lot of wishful thinking, a lot of, you know, daydreaming. They could be wishing that they weren't tired. They could be wishing that they weren't so damn tired. They've got a soul tie with the shadow side because they wanted money. So now they're wishing they weren't tired. Look, imagination. Excuse me. They could be having south node thoughts. They could be having some negative thoughts going through their mind. They're not nourishing the creative aspect of their mind. Yeah, they're having some mental problems. While you have friends, you possess gifts of the soul that benefit others. You understand that a friend is in your life for a reason, and you persevered through this. So it didn't go as they thought it was going to go. Their imagination, their illusions, their whatever, it didn't work out. It didn't work out. So whatever they thought was going to happen didn't happen. They signed a soul tie with a shadow thinking they were going to get money, but whatever they thought was going to happen didn't happen. You're here with your friends. You have gifts of the soul that benefit yourself and others. You persevered through all of these challenges, and you are in your purpose. You're in your purpose here. And you know what you're here to do. There's some, it's just amazing, you know, how they just never stop plotting and scheming. Trying to cast illusions. This King of Cups is volatile. They're tangled up in this web. They're looking for an escape. They don't have any gratitude. They're in fear. They want to fight with you, but they're not being supported. They neglected this Queen of Wands. So there's victory here over the mirror, over those who were trying to mimic you. You have conquered them by accepting your inner voice will always guide you in the correct way. And so you kept your calm, your inner peace. You remained calm and you trusted the divine to bring you wherever it was or is that you need to be. And you gained a victory by just letting yourself be led by the divine. It's a completion of your heavy Ten of Wands burden. These ones are grieving. It didn't work out the way they imagined. They got stuck in a rabbit hole with some crazy drama. Their secrets are here. They're trying to deny them. They weren't telling the whole truth. They're not telling the whole truth. And they're denying it. They're denying the truth. They're trying to keep something secret regarding eternal love. They want to, maybe they're challenged because they were trying to deny you eternal love. That was their secret. But the lovers are here, setting adrift. Those who were not willing to settle down or be responsible. You're daydreaming of each other. You've got a soul contract. And you're releasing your need to control. Again, with that trust, you're letting the divine lead you. It could be that whoever you have conquered here and whoever is worried about this rabbit hole, they need to surrender because they're not okay. They're not stable. They're not stable. They can't move against you and your power partner. And there, you got the Chariot here. You could be going on a journey. You've got a victory here. You're very courageous together. You're not alone. You're not alone on this rough journey. Look, somebody made mistakes, and we've got fate. It could be that somebody's a tarot reader and they made mistakes while reading cards. It could be that they were reliant on these readings to cast their decision about what they would do next, rather than trust the intuition that was coming to them from the divine. It could be that they're not connected to the divine. So this is their guide. Because of your hard work and your responsible nature, they could not make you fall into ruins, and they're broken and shattered about it. They're not finding this humorous at all. We've got readiness, preparation. So there's preparations being made. You're making preparations. They're not finding that funny. Queen of Wands is here. She's all determined to live her life. It could be that those who failed to give this Queen of Wands what she needed, see, she's very determined here. Yeah, so those who neglected her and failed to give her what she needed, they ignored all of her needs, her emotional needs, all of her need for touch, her need for union, for whatever. They're suffering. They're at risk because she's not dealing with those who envy her anymore. She's like, look, I'm not dealing with you, man. You got to go away. And so now they're at risk. This is an enterprise moving forward. Whatever these people that thought the joke was on you, whatever they built on your energy or on whatever they stole from others, it's crumbling. They need forgiveness because they didn't win. They're not winning. There's no win here for them. King of Cups in the reverse, secretly ashamed, tangled in this web, looking for an escape. They don't have any gratitude for family. They don't like family. They don't like their kids. They don't like having a wife. They just want to have a F buddy. There's conflict here. They're not being supported in it anymore. They wish that it never happened. They're in fear. Whatever's going on, they're in fear over it. They want to apologize. We've got the Seven of Cups illusion. They're wishful thinking. They're wishing that they weren't so tired. They were tempted. They were tempted, and they have a soul tie with the shadow side because they thought it was going to get them some money. But we've got imagination in the reverse, so it didn't work out like they had planned. They might be having some mental issues. Look, because they've lost your commitment. They have no commitment with you. They don't have a contract with you. They couldn't bind you to their commitment with the shadow. They wanted to swap places with you, but they couldn't do it. And there's evidence of what they've been doing, trying to curse you and dominate you. They wanted your gift, but you've got alliances that see you as trustworthy and honest. They're protecting your gift. And these people are disappointed. They're just sick about it because you reached the top of the mountain. You have reached your goals and you're about ready to go on an adventure. And they're stressed out and having a nightmare because you're seen as high value, as worthy, something beautiful. Yeah, self-love. You're full of love. You can heal yourself and you can heal the world. Look at all those flowers. You're just sitting there like, Om, and you put your mind in such a state that the flowers start popping up around you wherever you are. You're like, oh, beauty is around me. Beauty surrounds me. We've got memory here, and we've also got reunion. So it could be that you're going back with somebody. It could be whoever your contract is here. You're going back to, and somebody, whoever this is that came against you, they want to compromise because they're in danger, because justice is here, the law of cause and effect. It's all going back. It's being made fair because they were mind reading you in order to rob you, and that's coming to an end. It could develop into an actual death for them. Everyone who collaborated against you fell into a trap. Or maybe they simply are trapped. And it's time for them to go experience what they did to you. Supernatural disturbances, mental disturbances. Yeah, so they're having this thing right here because they got a soul tie with the shadow side. And they could not bind you to that commitment. So that's good news. That's good news. They're real mad. They got some interdimensional folks or some time traveling technology, people popping in and popping out. And they still, these ones that are doing that still have the conversation about getting you tangled up. But you've got victory twice here. You have conquered your reflection, those who are mimicking you and mocking you. So it could be that you're not envious and that you survived a natural disaster, even though you were being neglected in all ways. In all ways. You want to live. You want to live. This privileged lady is an official person. It could be that the privileged lady is with an official person. You trust the divine. You're calm inside, peaceful. This is a completion of your heavy burden. Whoever you conquered here is grieving. It did not work out the way that they had planned. They got caught up in some crazy drama. They're trying to deny you eternal love. Their secret is that they wanted to deny you eternal love, a wealthy man. They wanted what you have. They still do. They still do, and they're still plotting and scheming with lower vibrational entities to do you a thing. They still don't want you to have this eternal love. The Lovers is here. The strength of two together are setting adrift those who were not willing to settle down or be responsible. It's time to commit and put down roots. They're daydreaming of you. You could be daydreaming of them. You got this soul tie here. And these ones, they need to surrender. They need to control you. They're not stable. They're not stable because you're innocent. You're innocent. So they have to surrender their need to control you. Whatever they were trying to pin on you with their magic, with these entanglements and all this other crap, you got a victory over it. You're in your chariot. You're not alone. It's been a very rough road. They wish they could right their wrongs. It looks like they've been using tarot or other divination things to get their plan in order, but it looks like they got some wrong information. We have expectation. They could be having some kind of an expectation. There was mistakes made. So what they were expecting, it was a mistake. They were expecting to have your fate, but it looks like they didn't get the proper read or the proper information that they needed. The divine must have screwed up their messaging or something. You've been working real hard on a routine. You did not give it any slack whatsoever. You're not lazy. And they could not make you fall into ruins. They're feeling broken and shattered about this. They don't think that this is funny at all. And they're getting, oh my goodness, they're in despair. And they're getting ready. They're getting ready for poverty. They couldn't make you fall into ruin. they're still out there wanting to swap places with you, you know, with whatever they got going on. They still think that maybe they have that opportunity. You're the Queen of Wands here. You're very determined to live your life. Look, you got a courtship. You're not envious. You have survived natural disaster and severe neglect. With your determination. You're not envious at all. And you survived natural disaster to come into union here. There's a change. So you're moving forward. There is an overseas enterprise happening. The old system is falling apart, and those who were joking about this, they're starting to remember all the jokes, how funny they thought it was to try to hurt you. They want forgiveness because they didn't win, you know. Oh, I failed to win now please forgive me and let me stay in your energy. A mature man. Yeah, whatever. King of Cups in the reverse. Volatile, emotionally unstable. They don't have any love in them. They despise family. They don't have any gratitude for the love of family. I heard one of these misogynist narcissists say in the unseen, he says, what I hate are my kids. And I couldn't believe it when I heard that. I thought, you a-hole, man. He has no gratitude for his family. He hates his kids. Look, and it's not going well in the court for him. He lost in court. He lost in court. He might have thought that he was going to win, but he lost in court. It's not going well. We've got the clashing of petty egos. They're not being supported. It's a struggle now. They wish it had never happened. They're in regret. They're in fear here. They want to apologize to the married couple. They're in fear of you. They're afraid of you because you're so strong, you know, because you are innocent, you are pure, and what they did to you was extremely uncalled for, and you are a privileged lady and an official person. Either both of you are, because I've heard these unseen misogynists saying that this privileged lady is a dignitary. She's a soprano. She is high. She is way up there in the tier of hierarchy, and they really tried to do one over on her. She was led by the divine to move into whatever it is she's moving into. That's crazy, man. So the outcome is somebody's wishful thinking. They're wishing really, really hard that they weren't so damn tired. They have a soul tie with the shadow side. They did so because they wanted money. It did not go the way that they had imagined. They were not able to bind you to the commitment. They can't get out of the commitment. They couldn't bind you to the commitment. A mature woman. A mature woman can't get out of this. She couldn't bind you to the commitment. And this mature man here did not triumph. Oh, coffin. Oh, for a whole community. Whoever this whole community was that was coming after you, man, they're going down because you have the great fortune. You got the love here. You got all the light. Look at all the light there and the light there. You are the golden child or the golden couple. Take it as it resonates. And you're working together. It could be that you're working against those false people. You're working to what? Stitch it up, sew it up. You are the gift, and you're moving onto your pathway. You're in your chariot here. You're on your horse. You've got the 6 of Wands. You're traveling down that pathway. You are the gift. And those who were, this thief who was working against you, they're sick. They're real sick. They're real sick over your sudden wealth, and they're being in prison. They can't stop thinking about this main female. They could be in prison thinking about her right now. and about a change in the house. So apparently, in the astral or in the fifth dimension or whatever dimension that is, there is a whole new structure coming together, enterprised around the world. And people are concerned about this. They're very concerned. And there's a journey on the distant horizons for the main male. He's going somewhere. So we got family room and message of concern. Whatever they were doing in a family room, or this family got a message of concern in the courthouse because they were moving against somebody of high honor. Oh, they're in trouble, man. They got, this is over. They're real mad. They've got their, like I said, interdimensional leaders or whatever that believe that they're going to be able to somehow obtain this person or people still. So it's not over yet. They're still plotting and planning and scheming. Someday they'll go quiet. They're concerned over your legacy. Apparently there is one. So you got public recognition. You conquered your reflector, the mirror that was trying to replace you. You trusted your intuition. You remained calm. You are the privileged lady, dignitary. You're an official person. You're high level in the hierarchy. You weren't who they thought you were. They thought you were just a little whatever. People are talking about it. You could be talking to people. People might be listening to you. They might like what you have to say. Oh, what's this? Wife! Wife! Privileged lady is the wife of somebody. And a mother. She's a mother. She is the mother. The mother. They were trying to sell her off to a merchant. What a bunch of yo-yos, man. So this is the completion of your 10 of Wands burden. They're in grief because it didn't work out the way they imagined. This crazy drama has them in a freaking rabbit hole. They were secretly trying to deny you eternal love, this wealthy man. He wanted your money, privileged lady. He wanted your status and your position. He wanted to be seen as you, but he's not you. He was just a brutalizer. Low death. He tried to deny you eternal love, and it's over. It's over. This is the end of the completion of your 10 of Wands burden. The completion of you having to deal with this person. Man, it's over. They wanted to bring death to your eternal love. They wanted you to perish. They have to surrender their need to control you because they're no longer stable. They're not in harmony. They were never in harmony with you. They're not okay. You were innocent, and you're in your power couple thing. And those who were not willing to settle down and be responsible, they're getting put out. They're getting put out. Look, it's a service that you're offering. In your chariot, there could be forward movement. You might be going somewhere. You're not alone. This was a rocky road for you. They made some mistakes with their divination. They had expectations, but they made mistakes with their divination. They're not faithful. They're not faithful. They're not loyal. Old woman. Your routine hard work made it so they could not cause you ruin. They're feeling broken and shattered about it. They don't find this funny at all. They're in despair, and they're getting ready for poverty. It's the end of them trying to kill off your eternal love and steal your money. Look, money. They wanted your money. Queen of this privileged lady is in her Queen of Wands energy. She's very determined to live her life. She's like, look, I'm not giving it up. No matter how much you neglect me, no matter how much you fail to give me, no matter how many needs are not met, she's not envious. She survived this natural disaster, and she's in a courtship. It could be that she's neglecting those who failed to give her what she needed. She's not offering them their needs. We got Merchant here. Merchant. We'll have to get some clarification on that. Courtship, Merchant. Moving forward in an enterprise, what was built is crumbling. They were missing their inside jokes. They want forgiveness. This mature man, he did not win. He did not win. He did not triumph over a sweetheart. He did not triumph over a sweetheart. King of Cups in the reverse, ashamed, having emotional problems, unable to free themselves from a sticky situation. They want to escape. They have no gratitude for the family. They hate their family. They hate their children. We've got adjudication in the reverse. It's not going well for them in the court. We've got wedding here. So they didn't win in court over this wedding. They were trying to stop it, and see, it's here that now they're in fear because it's actually happening. The marriage happened, and they are fighting. They were trying to stop you two from coming together, and now they're not getting support. They're in regret. Oh, they're having a big time misfortune because this marriage happened. And the strength of you two together is like, it's crumbling everything. Everything's falling apart. They wish that they had more energy. They wish that they weren't so damn tired. They're wishing that they weren't tired. They've got a soul tie with the shadow. They did so because they wanted money. It didn't go the way that they had imagined. They weren't able to stick that commitment onto you, those contracts, this mature woman. Look, house in the reverse. So she's losing a house. She could be losing a house. It could be a house of flesh, a house of wood. Take it as it resonates. She needs consolation. She might be praying. Oh, look at this soldier is going to prison. She was fighting against this married couple, and she's going to prison. And her mature man here didn't triumph either. Look. So they wanted your fortune. Or maybe this foe is going to get a fortune of despair and sickness. They're your enemy. And now they're going to get a whole bunch of sickness. This enemy is getting the message. Yeah, a letter. See, they had hoped to continue with this pleasure seeking. And now this young woman is in sorrow because the Lord could be messing with her room, her mind. Whatever she did to this privileged lady is being done to her. Because we've got this gift. There's a gift of surprise, or there's a surprise gift of love and joyfulness. Yeah, so there's love and joyfulness. We've got an immature, prideful, haughty person in despair. Yeah, they're in despair. A scholar, a servant scholar, can't get out of his head. He's like all up in his thoughts, sighing. This thief priest is sighing. They're all upset. They couldn't take the wealth from you, and they're sick. And they could be about ready to go on a journey, which in the indigenous culture is, transitioning. So there's a reunion here. a reunion. Well, I don't know. We've got falseness, lover. So it could be that this reunion is bringing an end to false lovers who were having a great old time, unaliving their wives or their husbands. They were lying. These false lovers, frivolity. They were partying hard on the wealth of their deceased spouse. Those people that they were unaliving. We've got you're waiting on your friend, or you could be waiting on your friend. Somebody is in melancholy because of this happiness that you're experiencing. They're really upset about that. I'm going to go ahead and leave this one here. I hope that it brings clarity to something you already intuitively knew, and I'll see you on the next one, everybody. Bye.